I want to start with a scenario that I think everyone listening has probably gone through in just the last day or so.
Uh,
Think back, maybe 10 years ago. You wanted to know how to, I don't know, fix a leaky faucet.
right.
You'd go to Google, you'd type in a few keywords, get a list of 10 blue links, and then you did the work. You, the human.
It was manual labor, really, opening all those tabs.
Exactly. But now I just ask my phone a full messy question like, what's the best way to fix this faucet if I don't even have a wrench?
And you don't get links.
No, I get an answer, a paragraph. The synthesis is already done for me.
It's a huge shift in like the basic contract between us and the internet. We're not really searching anymore. We're asking.
And that shift is exactly what we need to unpack today, because if the way we get information has changed so drastically, then the way that information gets found, that has to change too.
Or if it gets found at all.
Right. We all know SEO. We've spent decades obsessing over keywords and backlinks. But today, we were diving into a source called The Essentials of Generative Engine Optimization.
And it is not just a new name for SEO. It's a totally different ballgame.
It really feels like it. We're talking about GEO, Generative Engine Optimization.
GEO.
So our mission today is to tear this apart. What is it? How is it different from everything we know? And most importantly, what do we actually need to do to stay visible?
And visible is the right word, because the source makes it clear. We're moving from an era of being indexed to one where you have to be interpreted.
Okay, let's start right there. Interpreted versus indexed. The text defines GEO as preparing a website so AI systems can generate accurate answers that include you.
Right.
How is that actually different from what Google's been doing forever?
It's all about the final product. SEO is built for a retrieval engine. Its whole job is to find a bunch of books on a topic and stack them on the table for you.
So it's a librarian saying, here are 10 books that might help.
Exactly. But GEOs are for a generative engine. It doesn't just stack the books, it reads them, it digests them, and then it writes a whole new paragraph based on what it learned.
So SEO is about getting on the list, but GEO is about getting into the final essay.
Precisely. SEO is about ranking.
Yep.
GEO is about recommendation and citation within that generated answer.
That seems like a small distinction, but I'm guessing the implications are huge.
They're massive. And this is where the source brings up a concept that, for me, is the key takeaway. It calls it interpretive confidence.
Yes, I circled that phrase too. Interpretive confidence.
Yeah.
It sounds so academic. Break that down for me. What does that mean for a regular business owner?
So you have to remember that a large language model, an LLM, isn't a truth machine.
Right, it's a probability machine.
It's just predicting the next word.
Mm-hmm.
So when it generates an answer to, say, best CRM for small businesses, it's just looking for patterns. It's looking for things that are strongly connected.
Okay, makes sense.
But here's the kicker. These models are trained very, very heavily to avoid making stuff up, to avoid hallucinations. So if the AI looks at your website and the language is vague or confusing or just full of marketing fluff, its confidence in what you actually do just plummets.
And if that confidence score is too low?
It doesn't just rank you lower. It ignores you completely. It leaves you out of the answer to avoid the risk of being wrong.
Wait, so it's a defense mechanism for the AI?
That's it exactly. In the old SEO world, you could be on page 2. With GEO, if your interpretive confidence is low, you don't exist in that answer.
That is, wow. This is brutal. So all the old tricks like keyword stuffing or writing these long, rambling blog posts, you're saying that ambiguity is now the enemy.
It is the #1 enemy. If a human lands on your site and can't figure out what you do in 15 seconds, that's annoying.
Right.
But for an AI, it just sees a low probability connection and moves on to your competitor who's crystal clear.
Okay, that clarifies so much. The goal isn't look at me anymore. It's understand me.
You've got it. You are optimizing for machine comprehension, not for human eyeballs.
All right, so let's get practical. Let's talk about the how. The source lays out 3 core pillars for GEO. And some of this advice seems to fly in the face of what we've been told about marketing for years.
Especially around brand storytelling, yeah.
Right. So pillar 1 is clear organizational definition. The site needs to explicitly state who the organization is.
It sounds so basic.
But it's not. How many tech websites have you seen with a headline like, empowering synergistic futures?
Every single day. And I have no idea what they sell.
And if you don't know, the AI definitely doesn't know. The source is saying you need to be almost boringly literal. We are a cloud storage provider for healthcare companies. Done.
Just state it.
but I can just hear the branding people screaming. Doesn't that strip out all the personality? Don't we just become a web of bland, literal descriptions?
And that's the tension.
Yeah.
But the source isn't saying your whole site has to be dry. It's saying the definitions have to be structured.
So have your slogan, but also have the plain speak version.
Exactly. Somewhere prominent, like the meta description or the about page, you need that little definition. The AI is building a knowledge graph. It needs to know which box to put you in. If you make a guess, you lose.
Be poetic, but also be literal. Okay, that leads into pillar 2, which feels related, focused service pages. The source talks about reinforcing a stable subject.
This is the stay in your lane pillar.
Explain that, because good content marketing often means branching out, right? A shoe company writing about mental health or something.
And that was great for social media engagement. It showed you had values. But for GEO, the source argues that's just noise.
It's confusing the bot.
It's diluting your semantic identity. If you're a plumbing supply company and half your blog is about the stock market, the AI starts to lose confidence that you're actually an expert in plumbing.
So it sees you as a generalist.
And generalists don't get recommended for specific questions. The AI is always asking, is this source an authority on X? If your topics are all over the place, the answer is no.
So the whole content is king. Idea of just pumping out articles on trending topics, that's over.
It's shifting to relevant content is king. Your marketing team has to ask, does this piece of content reinforce our core identity or does it dilute it?
That requires so much discipline.
And it does.
Okay, pillar 3. This one feels the most actionable. Direct answers.
Ah, the inverted pyramid.
Yes. The source says to put direct answers in the opening paragraphs. We always joke about recipe blogs, the life story before you get to the ingredients. But this is the exact opposite of that. Why does the placement matter so much to an AI? Can't it just read the whole page instantly?
It can read it, but it's about the cost of processing. It's about ease of extraction. These models are looking for the most relevant snippet to use in their answer. They're built to recognize a pattern. Question, then answer.
So if my page is titled, How much does enterprise software cost? But I start with 800 words on the philosophy of value.
The AI might just see that as noise and assume the answer isn't there. If the actual price is buried at the bottom, or worse, behind a contact us form, the AI can't extract it.
It's not just about being readable, it's about being extractable.
That is the key. You have to make your content machine readable. Reduce the friction. If the query is, what is GEO? Your first sentence should be GEO is.
It's like we're going back to old school journalism. Don't bury the lead.
It's a perfect analogy. We got so used to writing for time on site, for keeping people scrolling. GEO punishes that. It wants the answer right up front.
So let's tie these 3 together. Define yourself clearly, stay in your subject lane to build authority,
Right.
and put the answers at the very top of the page.
And all 3 of those things work together to boost your interpretive confidence.
It's so logical, but it feels very utilitarian. It feels like a much more rigid web.
It is utilitarian. But we have to look at the why now question. The
Yeah.
source is really clear that this isn't some future-gazing exercise. AI platforms are rapidly becoming the first point of contact.
Let's talk about that. For 20 years, the website was the destination. Google was just the door.
Yep, the journey was search, then click, then read your site.
And now?
Now the journey is ask AI, then get answer. The user might never leave the AI platform. They get the summary and they're done.
Which sounds terrifying for businesses. No clicks, no traffic, no conversions.
It's the billion-dollar question for sure.
Yeah.
But the source's argument is that you don't have a choice. If you're not optimized for the AI, you're not even in the summary. You're just invisible.
So the goal is to be cited.
To be cited as the source of truth. And the theory is that the high-intent users, the ones who are ready to buy, they will click the citation. So you might get less traffic, but it's higher quality.
But I want to push back on something. We've been talking as if SEO is dead.
Right.
But the source is very specific about this. It says GEO is meant to complement SEO, not replace it.
Yes, this is so important. Please, nobody go fire their SEO agency.
So how do they work together if their goals are different?
Well, think about how an AI knows if something is trustworthy. It looks for authority signals. And what are authority signals?
Backlinks, domain age, all the classic SEO stuff.
Exactly. SEO is what gets you into the training data in the first place. It tells the AI, hey, this is a legitimate website, not a spam farm.
So SEO gets you in the door.
And GEO makes sure that once you're inside, you're actually understood. It makes you legible to the machine.
Okay, that's a great way to put it. SEO is showing up to the test, and GEO is writing so clearly that the grader can actually understand your answer.
That's it. You need both.
As we're talking through this, I'm realizing something. We've been focused on optimizing for machines, all this cold technical language.
Semantic identity, context windows.
But doesn't this just make the web better for people too?
What do you mean?
Well, I hate reading 5 paragraphs of fluff to get a simple answer. I hate landing on a website and not knowing what the company actually does.
Yeah.
If we all start writing for the machines, being clear, being direct, staying focused, doesn't that just accidentally create a better user experience for us humans?
It's kind of the ultimate irony, isn't it? In our quest to please the robots, we might just fix the bloat and then nonsense of the modern web.
A web that respects our time. That's a nice thought. But I want to leave you with something a bit stranger to think about.
Okay.
We've established GEO is about making information machine readable. But what happens when the primary consumer of the web is a machine? When AIs read more pages per day than all of humanity combined?
Where are you going with this?
Are we heading for a split? A kind of bifurcated web. One version for humans, all visual, video, experiential, and another, a shadow web that's just pure structured text designed only for AIs to read.
Wow. That's a fascinating and slightly dystopian thought. A web for people and a web for bots.
I mean, we already have things like schema markup, code that only bots see. Is it possible that in 5 years, web design for information becomes just data entry? No design, no fonts, just pure logic for the machine.
It's not just possible. I think you could argue that this source material, the essentials of generative engine optimization, is basically the first handbook for building that other web.
It's teaching us to speak the new language.
And that language is logic.
Well, on that note, whether you're talking to a human or a robot, clarity is clearly the new currency. We hope this deep dive helped make sense of not just the acronym, but the whole shift behind it.
Absolutely. Thanks for unpacking it all.
That's a wrap for us. Go check your interpretive confidence scores. We'll see you next time.